I'm working on a little project, and what I'm going to do, I'm already in the process of trying to replace the surrounds on my Cerwin Vega speaker. This is the woofer, the large speaker, and I'll open up the case and show you that the other speakers are still in good shape. But what I'm going to do is give you a video of how to replace the speaker surrounds on this woofer. The first thing that I had to do is to remove the 4 screws that held the big woofer in place, and I'll show you exactly where those screws go, right here and here. It's very simple. Okay, the next thing I did is I took the woofer out. Okay, when you disconnect the wires from the speaker, this is the rear of the speaker. If you notice, there's a red dot there, so that'll be your positive, and the other will be the negative. So when you have to replace this, that's how you've got to do it. If you look real closely, you'll see what the old surround looks like. It's all dried up and it just deteriorated and disintegrated. So what I'm going to do is replace it with some brand new surrounds. They're kind of a butyl rubber, and they allow the speaker cone to vibrate. This right here is the speaker that I've already cleaned up. All around the edges, you've got to take the old surround out, and what I used was a razor blade and a knife. And then what you have to do also is you have to remove the surround material from this right here, the edge of the cone. You have to be very careful. Let's see if I can show that. Yeah, see right at the edge of the cone, you have to be very careful, and I used the razor blade to take all that old material off. You have to be very careful not to cut the cone. Okay, now the next thing that I did in order to prepare to put the surround on is I took the speaker cone and lifted it, and I just crumpled up some paper and put underneath in order to lift that cone up, so that when you put the surround on there, it'll line up real well with the lip, the very edge of the cone. I was able to buy the surrounds that I needed from speakerworks.com, and I got them pretty quickly, so they're really good as far as quickness. When I ordered my surrounds, I got 2 of them, and the glue and the applicators come with it. And what I did is I am putting the surround on the cone, but before I glue it, I want to make sure that I'm just doing a kind of a dry run. I'm centering the surround so that it'll fit on the cone perfectly. Okay, if you look at the edge of the cone itself, you can see where some of the adhesive was from the original. And being these are quite a few years old, that the original surrounds just dried up and deteriorated. So that's why I'm replacing them. Alright, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use the adhesive, and I'm going to put it on the inside of the cone and underneath the surround. This is what we're going to do, is put this adhesive inside right here, and we're going to glue that down, and I'll leave it for probably overnight. I'll just let it go for a whole day because it takes a while for that to cure. Okay, as you see, I've applied the glue all around the cone, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the inside edge of the surround, and then I'll install it onto the cone. Now that I've put the glue around the cone surround and also around the inside lip of the surround itself, now I'm going to go ahead and put that on and allow it to dry. What I did is I pressed my thumb all along the edge here and made sure that it's got a real good seal, and then I kind of cleaned up a little bit around. If there was any excess glue, I would kind of rub that with a paper towel, get most of that off. This glue will dry clear, so it won't look so bad when it's dried. One thing that I did not stress when I cleaned up all this old surround from here, I used a razor blade and a knife, and you're supposed to make sure that you get most of that off, and then after you get all the big stuff off, what I did is I just scraped it with a razor blade, and then you clean it with some alcohol, rubbing alcohol or 90-something% alcohol, to clean up all this residue, if there's any residue from the glue before. So I just wanted to make that point.